Let's look at the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 9. For if the ministry of condemnation had glory, that is the ministry of Moses. There are two ministries, we have to. I include myself, and I must correct the notion that each person has a different ministry. One for worship, one for church sowing, and one for outreach. This is incorrect. There is only one ministry. Yes, it is one. If it is here or if it is not here, it should be clear that there are not many ministries. There are many gifts and functions, but the ministry is one. Yes? Sometimes you get confused and say, hey, that brother has a worship ministry, when this one has a ministry of sharing the word, a ministry of giving. No. He has the gift of giving. He is qualified with that gift. There are many gifts. However, it is one ministry because it's one spirit. And that spirit is dedicated to one ministry. And then, there were two ministries. One expired, which was that of condemnation. It has ended. Or if it says that the ministry of condemnation was, that is to say it is no longer there, then exceeds much more in glory the ministry of what? That ministry is the one that came with glory. That the mediator comes to explain what it is, how it works. For example, you must understand that you cannot mix the two. Those two ministries of condemnation. Have you seen people defending the Ten Commandments? Well, they are mixing. Or people who think that Moses has something to do with this covenant because they are mixing it up. In that ministry, there are two apostolates. One was represented by 11 apostles, which is the one of condemnation. And this ministry of righteousness is represented by one apostle. There cannot be more than one apostle. You know that nowadays there are many out there calling themselves apostles. So if there are many apostles, then there are many ministries. Then this is no longer the ministry, or it is another ministry. But there cannot be more than one ministry because it is only one ministry. It is one spirit. There is only one ministry. If, for example, there are not two families of faith. There is the family of faith. It is one. If it's us, then there is no other family of faith. Because it is one. It says the family of faith, the ministry of righteousness. So we have to correct our vocabulary because there are things that sometimes we are not clear about. For example, the mind of Christ. Paul said we have the mind of Christ. The apostles do not have the mind of Christ. However, both I and Timothy, who is here with me, do have the mind of Christ. And so if someone asks Paul, what about Peter? No, Peter has the mind of Moses. Because Peter is a disciple of that covenant before the cross. Currently, every Christian ministry relies on the apostles, believing that Paul and the 11 apostles were close companions in their work. And they couldn't be friends because that's water and oil, they don't mix. Because you're mixing condemnation with righteousness. And then if it is righteousness, there is no more condemnation. Because Christ is the one who justifies. Either there is condemnation or there is justification. But there cannot be, I am justified and tomorrow I am condemned. Because then it would make no sense. So in these two ministries, one is, and the other is no more.